Hello everyone, Dean here with the Rogue Deck Chronicles, and we are back with another Rogue Deck Showcase. And this week, I feel like it was time to give Salamence a redemption story here. As you all may aware, I did a video on Salamence EX when Journey Together's first came out. I was not really hype on it, and honestly, I think this was one of my only videos where I went 0-3 in the video. I could not make it work. I tried everything I could to make this deck work, and I couldn't. I know some people had success with it, I did not. So I figured now with post rotation and having a little more pieces out there, I want to see if we can make this work, give this a redemption opportunity here. So those who are not familiar, Salamence EX is a stage 2 dragon type Pokemon with 320 HP and has 2 attacks. It has the Y Blast attack for a fire and double colorless, where we do 50 damage to each of our opponent's bench Pokemon, and then 300 damage for a fire, water, and double colorless. And then we have to discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. So with post rotation and new pieces gain added to the format, I'm pairing this with the Dewgong washout engine. So as often as we like, we can move a water energy from our bench Pokemon to our active. Well, how are we getting the water energy into play, and then where are we moving it to? So I am including 2 Terapagos EX and also 1 Wellspring Ogerpon EX to activate Glass Trumpet. So since we are playing a Terra deck, we do have a 2-2 line of the Noctowl with Jewel Seeker. That way we can look for the pieces we need, move everything onto our colorless Terra, our colorless Pokemon, so either Terapagos or Noctowl, and then using the Dewgong washout ability to move the water energy onto the Salamence, where we really only need 1 fire attachment to get this thing up and running. So as you can tell with our deck list here, I'm covering the energy requirement. We're playing 3 fire, 5 water energy, but let's take a look at everything else. So we do play a Budew, where for early game setup, the item lock just helps us get set up. We are relying on a stage 2 here. We talked about the Dewgong line, the Wellspring. We have Fezandipiti just for draw. And we're playing a 3-2-3 of the Salamence line, 2-2 of the Noctowl, 1 of the Meowth EX just so we can grab our supporters when we need it, and 2 of the Terapagos EX. And when we go into our trainer cards, we play 3 Buddy-Buddy to grab our Bagons and our Budew, 3 Glass Trumpets to get energy from the discard into on our bench, 2 Night Stretchers just to grab either energy or a Pokemon we need, 3 Poké Pad, and that's mainly in here for the Seel and Dewgong. Seel is an 80 HP Pokemon, so we cannot get that with Buddy-Buddy. 2 Rare Candy so we can get into our stage 2s, and I am opting to try out Scramble Switch in this list. I would say another good alternative card will be Prime Catcher, just because once we get stuck in the active, we have 2 retreat costs for most of our Pokemon. But I like having the Scramble Switch because it helps us manipulate where we put the energy onto our board and onto our active, and then we can use it to switch around our Pokemon and attack fresh if we need to. 3 Ultra Ball just to grab our Pokemon, and I play 2 Area 0 Underdepths because we are playing Terapagos. If we can get that and get a full bench, we can actually use Terapagos as a backup attacker and hit for 240. For our supporters, we have 2 Boss, 2 Crispin, 4 Lily's Determination, and 1 Rosa's Encouragement. I like Rosa's in this deck because we can power up the Salamence without utilizing Glass Trumpet if we absolutely have to. It's a one-of. I tried playing multiple of these, but we have to be behind in prizes, and a lot of times we're not there. But usually once in a game we're going to be behind in prizes. And then 2 air balloons, and as I mentioned before, as my head is kind of covering the energy count, we're playing 3 fire and 5 water energy. Again, this isn't the best deck out there, but I was going through and I kind of felt like it was time to give Salamence a redemption story. Let's see if we can make this work, especially with the new Dewgong card out there, where we can manipulate the water energy a little better. I like having the backup attackers with the Terapagos and the Wellspring Ogerpon as well. So we're not always just utilizing Salamence as the main attacker. We can use it as a Y Blast, set up KOs for the late game, and then clean up with either Wellspring or with Terapagos, or clean up with Dragon Impact as well. So it gives us a lot of good options here. But before we go on to the ladder, you know I'm going to ask the question. We've been asking the question in almost all our videos. I'm sorry, but we just have to do it. Are you subscribed to the channel? Do you have your notification bell on? As you all know, we are a growing YouTube channel. We're kind of small. This is a passion project for Dev and I. And to really get our stuff out there, we really enjoy making these decks, having fun, and seeing our wacky ideas, really see if they can work. And honestly, it's up. We do this because you all, we're getting a lot of support lately, but we always want to see if we get more support. So let all your friends know about us, put on subscribe so when you see our videos, we do release videos every Tuesday and Friday, but once in a while we'll put in a new video here and there depending on if we have time to kind of play around with more decks. But we really appreciate y'all's support. Some of our last videos are getting a lot of comments. Yeah, just comment below what do you think about Salamence, what you would change. I'll kind of go through all that in the video as well. But let us know what your thoughts on this deck or even any other deck you want us to try out. But with all that being said, I think it's time to begin this redemption story and go on the ladder and see if Salamence, can it be redeemed, or is it just going to be in our bulk binder forever? So I will see you all on the ladder. Okay y'all, we're in game 1 here with Salamence EX, the beginning question mark of the redemption story. Let's wait and see if this deck can be redeemed. I know I was really harsh on this deck when I first did this with Journey Togethers, and I honestly could not make it work. I tried everything I could. Maybe I didn't spend enough time on it. Again, we do work full-time jobs, and this is a passion project, a side gig for us. And now I had a chance to sit down. We got a couple more pieces in this format. Maybe post-rotation will be a little kinder with Salamence. So we'll start with the Bagon. We do have Hoothoot in our hand, and it looks like we're going against a Charizard. Is it EX? Yeah, Charizard X EX. So we need to be careful because they can one-shot us. So we'll see what we can do here. But if we can set up with Y-Blast, we should be able to be in a good spot. Plus, we are playing the Wellspring Ogerpon. Maybe we can get some easy weakness damage on there as well. And our hand's actually pretty decent. We're going to go second. We have Hoothoot, we have Buddy-Buddy Poffin, we have Lillies, and we have an Energy. And we have Poké Pad. So if our Budew is in the deck, we can get Budew out and try to item lock. And they play Meowth EX, grab a supporter for next turn. That's an actually easy 2-prize target for us for Dragon Impact later on in the game, or even Terapagos. Or honestly, if we can set up with wide guard or wide impact or wide blast, we can get 50 damage on there and follow up with the Wellspring. So we have different options here with this deck. And if we can get a boss, we can get out this Charmander before they can go. So we have options here. But they do start with the Oricorio. Battle Cage does not impact us at all. We're not doing damage counters in this deck. So they just attack, probably getting ready for a retreat next turn. And we'll see how we can get our setup here. Yep, or they're retreating this turn. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way for us to use Torrential Pump this turn. I don't think there's any way. We need a lot of pieces to be able to get that happen. So let's Buddy-Buddy, see if our... Yep, we have Budew. We'll grab another Bagon here. We'll put Air Balloon on this guy. We'll put a Water Energy on there, get this set up as well. And I'm going to Poké Pad early, just so we can get the Seel. We have 2 Dewgongs, that's perfect here. And then if we can get a Terapagos this turn as well, I think our bench will actually be pretty much in a good shape here. We don't get Terapagos, but we do get Wellspring, which will activate Glass Trumpet and Jewel Seeker as well. So we'll do that for now. So we're going to retreat early, and we're just going to item lock them. make them manually evolve up to the Charizard. And yeah, well, Itchy Pollen, item lock here. We have the Poké Pad for the Dewgong next turn, and then if we can get, honestly, if we can get a Crispin, we can get the Wellspring up and running, and maybe get easy 3 prizes here. Or at least 1 prize, because we can knock out the Charmander or Charmeleon when it gets evolved up. But we'll see when we pull that off. We have a lot we need right now, but we're in a good spot here. I will say I'm already in a better... I feel much better about this version of Salamence than I did with Journey Together. Again, I'm not hype on this deck, on this card at all. This is more of an experiment for me. I was looking through what decks we could do for this channel, and I thought maybe we can start a redemption series, per se, and maybe go through some old decks that people tend to forget about, and just try our best to see if they can be redeemed. So, they did nothing this turn, so we'll go into Shelgon here. Well, Poké Pad for... Honestly, I'm thinking about Poké Pad for Noctowl. We can grab Crispin. Yeah, I like this plan because we have stuff going here. So we're going to Jewel Seeker because we do have a Terra Pokemon in play. And we have energy for turn, and we have Wash. We can try to get Washout. So we're going to get Crispin. And we don't have another Poké Pad, unfortunately, but I can probably go and get an Ultra Ball here. Yeah, let's do this. So we are going to Ultra Ball away the energy, because we can grab that with Glass Trumpet. And we'll grab the Dewgong here. Get Washout up and running. So we're going to Crispin for our turn, and we got energy in our deck. So we'll put the water energy onto the Wellspring here. We can manually attach for turn. We can Glass Trumpet onto the Noctowl. We can retreat. We're breaking item lock here, but you'll see it all come together. So we're going to wash out here, move it from the Jewel Seeker. That way we have our energy. And then I don't mind using the Glass Trumpet again. That way we can have energy going for next turn. I probably should have waited actually, because now that fire energy is stuck on the Noctowl, but we can maybe use that for retreating if we have to. And then we're just going to Torrential Pump. We're not knocking out the Meowth, but more importantly, we're knocking out that Charmander. Kind of slowing them down, because Charizard X EX is their main attacker. And they can't do anything until they get a Mega in play. So this slows them down for at least 1, if not 2 turns. And then next turn, if we can get energy again, we can Sob, and we can with using Washout. So utilizing Salamence as more maybe a support mon versus the main attacker, and it has that versatility. But yeah, this is, I feel actually so much more confident playing this deck right now. We have, again, I probably should have waited on the Glass Trumpet, but at least we have a retreat way for Noctowl, and honestly with this having 60 HP, we could be a little cheeky and use Speed Wing to knock out the Meowth and get 2 more prizes. Because they're kind of stuck. I know they don't have a lot going on here. Yeah, they just pass. They have nothing going on. We get Terapagos. Can't really do much with that here. We're going to Poké Pad and get I'll get a Shelgon. That way we can hopefully draw into a Salamence and get that attacker going. And I'm just going to wash out. I know we want to attack with the Shelgon, but in this game it seems like the Wellspring is doing a really good job for us. And we're just going to retreat lock them. Kind of force their hand here. And if we can get 2 more energy on there and a boss, we can retreat this and get 4 prizes and end the game that way. But again, that's asking for a lot. We probably should get a Lillies for next turn. And honestly, I think our opponent rage quit. We took out their only attacker here. They can't really do anything else. Like, they are playing the game. Like, they're passing really quick. So it's not like they're stalling out. Like, they probably just don't know what to do. They're really behind. Our board is actually pretty set up here. Okay, so they were inactive, which is weird because they did pass really quick. But yeah, once we get our board set up and take advantage of the situation, we were pretty good. Like, and honestly, I got a win with this deck. I didn't even get a win when we did this back a year ago. So this is already a victory for me. So we take 1 win right now. We'll go on to game 2 and see how Salamence does with the rest of the ladder. So good luck to us, and let's see how we do. Okay, y'all, we got a victory with game 1 in this video. We won the coin flip, so do we want to go first or second? I want to go second here. I know it gives our opponent an opportunity to really attack, especially if they're a stage 1 deck. But if we can slow them down with Budew, that will put us in a really good situation, which we do have the opportunity. Our hand's not the best, but we have an Ultra Ball here, and we could try to go for a Budew. So we'll see what we go against with our opponent here. And then they're doing Meloetta, so this is a donk deck. I don't believe they can do 80 damage as easily with this deck anymore. You could when you had the Brute Bonnet and you can poison and then retreat and do other things, but the most they're going to do is 30, which is fine. So we'll see what they do with this deck. This is a very interesting build. I'm wondering if they're playing with the Mega Clefable. Yeah, they just hit for 30, which is fine. So we start with water energy, so we'll put another Seel down. We'll discard our 2 energy because we have Crispin. Now, do we have Itchy Pollen? We do have Itchy Pollen, or I can grab the Meowth and try to get a better hand here. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to grab the Meowth and try to retreat into the Budew later on. And we're going to grab a Lillie's Determination. So we'll do that, see what else we get. And we got it. We got pieces here. And now we also got a Bagon. We'll Buddy Poffin for Budew, and I don't want to do Terra yet. We don't have the pieces for it. So we'll just do a second Bagon. We will retreat into the Budew here. They could knock us out, but at least we will prevent item locking, or we will put item locking on. So we'll put on the Bagon here, and then we will just Itchy Pollen. They'll get ahead on the prize card, but that's why we play cards like Rosa, where if they are ahead, we can get into the Salamence and power up easily that way, especially with having 2 energy into the discard already. And they are playing a Mega Clefable. So my question is, how are they getting the energy into their hand? Because we showcased this video already. So they need to get energy into the hand. So they'll go ahead on the prize card, which is perfectly fine. If we get a rare candy, that will be freaking awesome. We don't, but we'll get into Shelgon here. We have Washout, so we'll have that already. They're only doing 180 right there next turn. 80 more damage. So I'm okay with retreating and giving them this seal. And just playing it slow here. We have the Salamence for next turn. So they can attack with Clefable, but then they have to discard that. No, sorry. The energy gets discarded from hand. So they're just attacking us, which is fine. They're only doing 110 at this point. Okay, we got a boss. We're not really doing much here. But we at least get a Salamence in play. We'll put an Air Balloon on there. And I could... No, I can't even wash out. So I'm going to give them the Salamence. No, I'm not. I'm going to give them the Bagon. And we'll just end our turn. We are playing a little slow. Not a fan of this. That's why I'm not... Again, I'm not really super hype on Salamence. I'm giving it another shot. To me, it gets really clunky. And it's really hard to find pieces to get this fully going. So we get another one. This is my issue here. I don't want to do anything else because they can just retreat or they can attack into us. So I'm just going to end my turn. I'm hoping they don't have the energy to attack my Clefable, or if they don't have the Lillie's Clefairy, because if they have the Lillie's Clefairy, they can knock out the Salamence. Because I believe with Mega Clefairy, you're only doing 280, so they don't have that. But they will next turn, most if they have the energy in hand. So, oof. We're going to attach. And we'll just end our turn. If we can get a Fire Energy, we can at least set up some damage. But yeah, we're just bricking here. We had a good start, but we slow down the turn after. So this is just one of those decks, like when you get a good start, you're good, and when you brick, it hurts you so bad. We have Poké Pad. I could use that to thin, I guess. We'll grab a Bagon here because we need to get something going. And I guess I can just use this to retreat. I don't want to lose that Salamence. Because once we get a... Actually, no. Even if we get a Terapagos... Oh, This may be too little too late. Yeah, once we bricked, it's hard for us to get away from this. We can get damage on there. I'm not sure it will mean anything at this point, because they're just going to knock this out and get the last two prizes. I'm just going to call their bluff and see if they can knock out that Meowth. Because they're only hitting for 110, so if... Yeah, I knew they got it. They had way too many pieces, way too many cards in their hand. And then they can just heal that Meloetta. But yeah, it just shows like once we brick, we brick. But at least we already won one game, which is more than I can say with the Journey Together video. So, quick game 2, but we'll go into game 3 and see if we can come out with a positive record, if not a closer game. So we'll go to game 3 and we'll see if Salamence can be fully redeemed. So let's give me a second and I'll meet you all there. Okay, y'all, we're at a 1-1 record here with Salamence EX. We won game 1, lost badly in game 2, so we'll see how we can do with game 3. We did win the coin flip, and I'm gonna opt to go second here, just because we do have the option to item lock, and I want to try to pull that off. And then we start with the Bagon. So we'll see what we get. If we can get a Buddy-Buddy, we'll be in a very good spot here. So going against the Tail Mask, which is fine. We can one-shot that with Dragon Impact. And really, if we get a full bench, we can one-shot that with Terapagos as well. And that's all they do. Okay, so a little slow. And we have pieces where we can get stuff down. And speaking of Terapagos, there's our Terapagos. Well, Poké Pad, I'm kind of tempted to just go for the Hoothoot here. Because we do have the Noctowl ready to go. I'm gonna go for energy on the Terapagos. And I hate doing this, but I'm probably gonna go... Do we have Budew in here? We don't even have Budew. I'm just gonna double down on the Hoothoot. That way we have options for next turn. And I'm just gonna say you can give this Bagon. We'll try to get Salamence up and going later on. But for now, this is going to be a Terapagos game. That's for Force Vitality, they get Lillie. So this is some sort of, I would say, a Meganium deck, most likely. So the Mega Venusaur. So that's going to be tough for us to one-shot. So we have to go after the other pieces, which we can easily one-shot. So we're in a decent spot. And yeah, I kind of called their bluff. I knew they're going to take out the Bagon. And they're just going to evolve into the Mega Venusaur. If they have all those pieces. If not, they'll at least get going. The Bayleaf, okay. They'll Till Dance some more. Bug catching, see if they get the missing pieces here. So they'll at least get the Venusaur set up. And the Mega Meganium. Okay, so we just need to take out these two, which is going to be a little difficult here. Can they fully attack here? Yes, they can. Oh, they're calling our bluff and not attacking at all. But they have Solar Transfer, so they can move the energy and do 210 HP. Or no, 70. Trying to do math. 70 plus 150 is 210, 220. So they're definitely getting the Bagon. It's just we were hoping for the easy KO with the Ogerpon. So we'll try and see what we can do. As of right now, they're not attacking. They're not one-shotting us, but still very early on in the game. So we'll get some Bagons out. We'll Noctowl here. and see what we can get. We're going to Jewel Seeker. Definitely get a Lillie's. We need a lot more in our hand. And we'll probably grab... What's in our discard? We have no energy, and then 2 Pokemon. We'll grab the Area 0 as well. We'll bump that forest. Kind of make it a little more difficult for them. So we got a Seel. We at least can try to get close to... Or not. I was going to say we can try to get 240, but we do not. We are at 150. So it won't one-shot them. I'm trying to think here. I'm gonna save the Noctowl. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. I want to use the Noctowl. Grab something else here because I kind of want to get either another Terapagos or we'll get a Poké Pad here. We'll get rid of Ultra Ball and Rare Candy. We can get Fez, draw some more with Fez here. We got Fire Energy for next turn, that's good. And we'll just stick with 180. And almost certain they're going to knock us out, but then we can get rid of the Noctowls. Or 1 Noctowl. So it's going to be a little... This is going to be an uphill battle. They're a little bit more consistent than we are. But we can try to get hit for 180 next turn. Because the problem is we can't really go with Wide Blast because the Terra mechanic blocks damage to them. So it's really onto the Megas that will be useful, which is still better than nothing. So yeah, they're just gonna one-shot us here. Get rid of the stadium. We have to discard. Only 1 though, so we'll get rid of 1 of the Noctowls. And then we have to promote something here. I want to promote the Bagon. Okay, we got a boss. If we try, we could actually maybe knock out this Megadium here. So I want to grab the Terapagos. I'll bench that. That way we activate the Area 0 once more. I'm going to Poké Pad for the Dewgong. That way if we can get Glass Trumpet, we will be okay. I'm going to put it on the Terapagos here. Hoping that we can attack, because we have energy in the discard. We do. We're going to Lillie's and see what pieces we can get. Can we dig ourselves out? And it looks like we actually can a little bit here. No, we don't. We don't have Air Balloon. We still flipped the script, so we're not totally out. So I'm just going to fill up my bench. Let's hope I can get Air Balloon off this flip to script. We don't. Okay. We do have Rare Candy though, so we can get Salamence at least ready to go. So let's grab Glass Trumpet here. We'll put energy onto the Terapagos here. I can't even attack this turn because I need to get to, water energy on here. I only got one in play. So we're gonna Night Stretcher for the Hoothoot. I believe we have 1, 2. The other Hoothoot's in our discard, so we can try to get that later on. But for now, I think we just end our turn here. Just sacrifice the Shelgon. We have a Salamence. And see where we go from here. Because we're only doing... So we only need to hit for 180, which with our bench right now, I believe we're hitting more than that. So we at least can get 3 prizes this turn. Okay, they're gonna boss, go after the Terapagos. Makes sense. And knock that out. And get down to 1 prize card here. So we'll just promote the Terapagos here because we have the energy in hand to attack. Crispin. We are hitting for 180, so that we got the math there, so we're good on that. Just gonna Lilies, see what we can get. We could Teal Mask. No, because they only have 180. There's no way we can do that. Okay, let's flip, see what cards we get. Now we got the Air Balloon. So, Glass Trumpet. We're just going through the motions right now. Can't really do much else. And let's just get 3 prizes. And they'll probably get game with the Teal Mask, which is fine. At least we took out a Mega. I will say that. Scramble Switch. A little too late. I could have used that for the Salamence maybe, but they got game. They can either boss up one of our easy Pokemon, or honestly, they can probably take out the Terapagos. Because we do have 2 energy on it, so they're hitting for what, 150 plus 62. They need, yeah, once they get another energy, they can knock us out. That's all they needed. But I'll let them get it. Not the end of the world here. Why did they realize they got the game already? They don't have to keep going. They're just trying to get a buttload of damage. So I wonder how much damage they are doing now. Only 330 with 8. Interesting. Okay. But still enough to knock us out. They got game. It is what it is. Again, this is not the most optimal deck. I want to just give it another shot. We did win 1 game with this. And we actually got a knockout against Omega. So I'll take it. It's not the best, but honestly, I think this was a little better than it was a year ago. So I'll take it. Again, not the best deck in the world. And honestly, Grass is in a very strong spot right now, so it was an uphill battle for us regardless. So, we had fun though. That's all that matters. Is Salamence EX redeemed? I'm going to say this is still up for debate. The jury's still out on this. I think this is a much better position than it was when it first came out. I think the Dewgong engine really helps helps with the recursion to get the energy going for when we use Dragon Impact. I think pairing it with the Terapagos and the Wellspring is very smart. I think it needs to spend a little bit more time maybe optimizing the list. I'm not sure if Scramble Switch is the A-spec for this deck. Secret Box may be better, Unfair Stamp may be better, Prime Catcher may be better, but we don't really see Scramble Switch a lot, so I wanted to try it out, and my testing actually did come in clutch. However, we just didn't see it in these videos. I think what makes this deck very hard to play and hard to optimize is that it is a stage 2 that doesn't hit for the damage we need in this Mega format, and then relying on a energy and engine that has an with the basic HP is 80. If that was 70, I think it would be much easier to get it set up with the Buddy Poffin. We do play the Poké Pad, and we have to be mindful to keep the Poké Pad just for that line, or for the Noctowl. But I think pairing it with the Terra engine is very smart. Not sure how I would optimize this more. I want more draw. I just don't know what draw is out there. Maybe put in a Judge for hand disruption may be better. I don't know. I think there is potential for this deck, for this Pokemon card. I just don't know what to do it with. So honestly, I'm reaching out to you all. Give me advice, help me out. Let's make Salamence good. In the comments below, let us know your thoughts. Like, what cards will you change out? How you would play this deck. Maybe in a couple weeks we will revisit this deck and see if any of your suggestions worked out. We love hearing from y'all with the Mega video. Oh my gosh, the suggestion ideas that y'all brought to us is amazing. And honestly, we were thinking along the same lines. Just sometimes in decks you can only put so many tech cards in a deck, and we're reaching out for your help with this one. Let's try to redeem Salamence. Again, the jury's still out. I'm not going to say it's redeemed, and I'm not going to say it's not redeemed. I think there is still potential here. We won game 1. The last 2 games were hard. The second game was the hardest because we were dead drawing, but the third game we were kind of going. It's just the HP on Megas is just too much for this card. But let us know. Again, subscribe to our channel. Put on those notification buttons. Let's interact with us. We always respond back. And yeah, let's actually cooperate together. How can we make this card better? So with that, I'm looking forward to seeing your guys' response in the comments. And with that being said, I'm Dean with the Rogue Deck Chronicles. And as always, have fun playing those sneaky decks. See y'all.